fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no, we don't have to fight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Just Chill with Oliver George. This is episode 67, and I have two people sitting across from me that are both return guests. I'm very, very excited to have them back in the studio. But before we get into it, I want to remind you, if you are watching on YouTube and you would prefer an audio-only version, you can get that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other places like that. If you are listening on one of those, though, and you didn't know there was a visual side to the show, please come check it out on YouTube. While you're there, if you would subscribe, it really does mean a lot to me. We recently hit 1K subscribers, and I'm still over the moon about that. So thank you so much if you've supported us. Finally, if you want to reach me, you can hit me up at justchillpodcasting@gmail.com. Maybe if you have a cool guest idea or some general feedback about the show. While you're there, let me know if you are interested in one of these holofoil stickers, and I will send you one free of charge. Now, back to the guests. I'm really, really excited to have you guys back. One of you was on 2 years ago. One of you was on 1 year ago. And since then, you've just been crushing it in the comedy world. You already were great at comedy, but you guys, it doesn't seem to end your meteoric rise. So I'm so excited. And it is Janelle Niles and Simone Holder.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Live in New York.
How are you guys, first of all? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been okay.
Pandemic aside, of course.
Pandemic aside, yeah, I've been all right. A few rough patches here and there, but we'll get into that.
Okay, yeah. If you
I want to insert something funny here, but I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, man. No, it's so good to see your faces, and we don't have to wear masks, and
Yeah.
everybody's vaxxed. So it's nice to be here doing it in studio, in the flesh. We've been saying that a lot lately. And you've got a pretty big announcement coming up. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll just start there. I feel like I'm
Sure.
burning with anticipation for your announcement here. So
Do you have any notes on there about what I did in Iqaluit?
yeah, well, I wanted to bring it up.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay,
show.
because they kind of go together.
Okay, well, let's start there. Then you did the Arctic Comedy Festival not long ago with David Brennan and
Yep.
Abdullah Uzman and a couple other people. Remind me who they are.
Nicole and Peter, I don't know their last names off by heart, but they were up there with us and with the Arctic Comedy Festival with John Helke. He scouted me out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
I like your stuff. We want to get you on this festival. You got 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yeah, sure, I have 20 minutes. I will definitely pull that out of my ass.
Was that the most time you'd ever gotten at that point?
It was the most time I've ever been asked to do.
Okay.
So I was very ecstatic. It was my first festival. I jumped the clubs. I never middled or hosted or headlined a club, but now I'm doing a festival.
That's
so
awesome.
I broke the mold, if you will.
In Iqaluit, right?
Yeah, in Iqaluit. So the Arctic Comedy Festival is an annual event in Iqaluit, and JFL was there scouting comedians to possibly be on TV or certain projects that they were wanting to do with indigenous comedians and other comedians like David Brennan and Abdullah and them.
Nice.
So when I went up there, it was October 2nd, I believe. October 2nd. And we went the same day that we had to film both shows. So it was a 6 p.m. show and a 9 p.m. show.
Oh, wow.
And he said, you have 20 minutes. We're like, oh no, because we're all still like, even the club comics like David and Abdullah, like they're still working their like good 15. You know?
Yeah.
And
20 minutes is a long time
is.
if you have, stacked solid material.
Exactly. But the second they wrote my name on the board and put a 1-0, it was like, oh, thank God. Whew.
Oh, they cut it down?
Oh yeah, everybody's just like,
Nice.
because they didn't cut us down. What the guy, what John in the email said, you have 20 minutes, but what he meant was you have a 10 and a 10.
Oh, 20 minutes total.
Oh, for both the shows. Then you're super over-prepared, but that's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had a good 10. So we're like, we'll do it. But it was amazing. Iqaluit, it was beautiful. Like when you step off, it's like you're on the surface of Mars. It's just, there's no trees at all because you're in the tundra and it's just a different atmosphere. We saw sled dogs and we saw seals. It was
Polar
amazing.
bears? No.
No, Abdullah really wanted to see a polar bear.
They're dangerous, I think, right?
I think he
Yeah.
wanted to pet one, then I had to sit
Yeah,
him
they're
down.
not like the Coke commercials.
Yeah.
The Christmas commercials.
Bite your
They'll
arm
kill
off.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was feeling like I was like the weak link in the chain as like an open micer going to a festival. So I never thought in a million years that JFL would want anything to do with me at that time. However, just getting my name out there was the best. So 2-3 weeks ago, JFL was like, hey, we have a proposition for you. And I'm like almost crying on the phone. Like,
We should say just for laughs for anyone that doesn't know what JFL is.
Oh,
but
sorry, I thought I mentioned it.
most people know, or maybe you did. My bad.
That's okay.
Yeah, JFL, they called me and they're like, we have this proposition for you. And it's a TV season. And it's a new wave of stand-up.
Okay, I think I've seen that in previous years.
Yeah, on CBC
Yeah.
Gem, I believe.
I think
That's
Kyle
very
Brownrigg
cool.
was on one of those.
Yes, he was.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So you landed that. That's amazing.
I know.
Oh my God. And you're filming it at the end of this month?
Yes. At the end of this month, where our pre-show is November 30th, and then our taping is December 1st.
Oh, so you do like a dry run kind of just, oh, that's got to be nice.
I'm so excited. It's in Vancouver too, so they're flying me out.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm happy for me. It's
That's
all-
beyond cool, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person
Oh, thank
unless
you.
it happened to Simone.
Oh yeah,
That would be-
she wants me to pack her in the suitcase.
Yeah, I was like, take me.
So are you just like every night in the mirror, relentless for the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks, I'm
like
guessing?
you're deserving of good things. That's my mantra.
Yes, everyone has that imposter syndrome, but like definitely you've had a massive impact on people in this community. I know that. I told Jackie Graham was here playing board games last night with a couple other people, and I told her your announcement, and she I felt like she was going to tear up because she was so happy for you, and she said how much of a help you were to her, and we all know that, like just giving people stage time at Eddie's and just motivating people to keep trying, and you don't shit on people like a lot of comedians do. That you don't have that competitive douchebaggery about you.
It's because we're all in the same game. This is
Yeah.
comedy. Like it's almost like we're coworkers in a way, But yeah, there is this competitive tone in the room with some comedians. Like we call them elitists because they're like, comedy's supposed to be this way, and you're supposed to be doing it at this time and this many years, and
Like there's a handbook or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. But
exactly.
me and Simone, we broke the mold.
Definitely. Well, yeah, let's pivot now to Simone's crazy summer. I'm going to be doing this a lot. Switching
No, it's
back
all
and forth.
good. It's all good. I talk too much. Let her have some.
No. But you've had a crazy year as well. You've just been grinding nonstop.
Yeah.
Out of anyone during the pandemic, I don't know anyone who's done more shows than you, online and in person.
Yeah, I did a lot, and it helped.
Well,
It
I'll
really
say
helped.
it culminated in Simone winning the Mike MacDonald Yuk Yuk Summer Comedy Competition.
Mm-hmm.
But not just winning it. What I was most impressed by was that in every round along the way, you placed first. So preliminaries, semis, it's just, that must be unheard of in the contest. Maybe not. I don't know. I've only been around so many years, but so congrats on that as well.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
afterwards, you went and toured the East Coast, I believe, right? Or you did?
Yeah, I went to Yuk Yuk's in Nova Scotia. I have good friends that live out there.
Okay.
And I'd wanted to visit last year, but we couldn't. And so I picked a date that I could go. And then I contacted the manager out there and said, hey, I'm a comic from Ottawa. I'm going to be in Nova Scotia. Is there any chance I could get stage time
Nice.
at Yuk's? And he was like, oh, yeah, let me get back to you and everything. I'll talk to Howard and everything. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I think it was the night of the semifinals. He was actually there.
Oh.
And so I don't think he had put together, because we had met before, but I don't think he had put two and two together that I was the same person who was
Okay.
asking. So after the show, because we had said hello before. And so after the show, I was like, oh, it was me who sent you that message. He was like, oh, okay. And he pulls out his phone and, and everything.
Puts
and
it in
then,
the schedule, yeah.
And so he gave me, he told me I would be doing a split middle on Friday and Saturday, which would have been 10 minutes. I was like, perfect.
Yeah, nice chunk of time.
Yeah, And then the Friday, I got there Thursday. So the Friday, something said, double check. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, I just want to confirm that, I'm excited. I just want to confirm that I'm doing like a split middle 10 minutes tonight and tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I was just about to message you. You're doing 20. And I was like,
Kind of the opposite of what happened in Janelle. Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, if you don't have 20, he's like 15. You can do 15. So I was like, okay, I can do 15. I know I have a solid 15. So
Okay.
that's what I ended up doing.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
But you said you had friends out there. Did you ever live in the East Coast? Or
No, I never lived there, but one of my best friends from Toronto moved out there with his partner, I want to say about 4 years ago. And I did visit them the first year they were out there in 2017, and then haven't had a chance to go back. So I went back.
Nice.
And I brought a ton of people because I know a lot of people out there, even though I've never lived a moment out there.
You're connected.
Yeah. So I brought, I think I had like 6 people the Friday night and like 9 people the Saturday night. So I was very popular.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know, they're like, you don't even live here and you're bringing people.
Yeah. Some comic who actually does live there is like crying in the corner.
But it was a lot of fun. And I got to meet Sean Majumder.
Yeah, I saw a picture of you guys. Yeah.
And he roasted me because he went up after me and he roasted me and it was so funny. It was like the best.
Yeah, he's from This Hour Has 22 Minutes back in the day. Is he still on that show or no?
I don't think so.
I know he was a lot.
Yeah, he was on for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that show even going still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's still on.
snap.
It's
I
still on.
know Sophie Buttle and May Scaloni both write for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen them post stuff about that before.
I haven't had cable in 14 years.
Yeah, I have it and I never watched. I have like the basic, I think, 25 channels
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
don't have it at all.
I mean, to be fair though, like YouTube and all that is just turning into TV.
Yeah,
now.
YouTube's
Oh yeah, I
my
watch
TV.
YouTube. Yeah. I have the YouTube Premium.
Oh, I mean, they have. Oh, you have premium because I was
Yeah.
going to say the ads are at that point now where it's like we
Oh, yeah,
went to
that's
the
why I got
internet
the
to get
premium.
away from that format, and now that format has kind of caught up, and
Yeah.
the internet is now what TV used to be in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You had roots in the East Coast too, though, right?
I am from the East Coast, yeah. I'm from Sipiganacodic, Nova Scotia.
So this is something I want to ask because probably I wouldn't be privy to it even if I did go there. But I have heard that there's like some pretty rampant racism in
yeah.
parts of the East Coast. Have you guys experienced that
Oh, yeah.
firsthand out there?
I didn't experience any racism there, but I know that Nova Scotia has like an ugly history
Yeah.
of it. Like there's a portion of Halifax where Black people were pushed.
And it was
to
right
live.
near like the fumes from some
Yeah, it was-
factory or some
exactly.
shit.
It wasn't a nice-
Africville. Thank
yeah,
you.
Africville, yes.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
an expose or something on that on CBC once, and it was pretty rough stuff to listen
Yeah.
to. And I also saw someone posting, someone who went to the East Coast, and they posted a picture of somebody's truck with like a Confederate flag.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, wait, this is Canada.
Well,
What?
they're all about the
Like,
Confederacy there, like in those certain parts.
Another country's Confederacy.
It is.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the racist like I've experienced was when I was really young. I remember a young little toddler just walking in. Well, I was in the park and a toddler and her parent was walking by and she's like, "Is your skin brown because you drink lots of chocolate milk?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute," you know. But
Not the worst
I know
racial-
it's not the worst one.
Yeah.
But when I got a little older and I was around like maybe 7 or 8, I would go to the park and I would try to play with the kids, and they're like, "We're not allowed to play with you." I'm like, "I don't even know you.
Oh,
Who are
brutal.
you?" Like,
Yeah.
Then I figured out later they weren't allowed to play with me because I was a brown, Black, indigenous kid, not because they knew who I was and I was a bad influence.
Yeah.
But
If their parents were racist.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Don't hang around. And we were.
That's fucked up.
It was just the town itself was just mainly Caucasian. So, like us was like it is what it is. Sorry, I was gonna go on a tangent about how it is in Nova Scotia, but it has changed. Like for BLM, there was marches.
Okay, that's
and
good.
for the murder and missing women, there was marches in my small town, and I'm like, bravo, you guys!
Nice.
You broke the mold.
Yeah, I always see you posting about a lot of cool issues, and I know you were posting about the fishermen that were getting fucked over out there too.
Well.
They were like stealing their crabs or something. Or?
The indigenous fishermen, we were getting fucked over because we deserve to fish for our inherent right, moderate livelihood. So we're fishing for inherent rights because that was part of the treaties, it was part of the peace and friendship treaties and the Marshall Decision, where we are allowed to fish to sustain ourselves.
Yeah.
However, we had about 10, 11 boats on the water. So what Sipiganacodic did was like, oh, let's just create a fishery so we can all help each other and our community. So that's what we did. But the DFO, Department of Fishery and Oceans, and the non-Indigenous commercial fishermen's like, no. You guys can't be together. You need to split up. You're not allowed to come together. And I'm like, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, really.
Doesn't that sound real familiar?
Oh, man.
Didn't they do that to the Black people? No. You can't come together. You have to. But it's there's like this big notion. It was conservationalism. Like they were like worried that we were going to take the last of the lobster after they were done overfishing, you know. And you're really preaching conservation to conservationalists.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's a little backwards for sure.
exactly.
Man.
I don't want to go on another tangent about that. Sorry.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, since you're both doing so well in comedy and blowing up, I know I talked to Simone about this a couple times, but like haters are going to hate, right? They come out of the woodwork when you have successes and stuff. So I wanted to know what your guys' like best tricks are for navigating that kind of trolling and the shit that's you're bound to experience.
It's difficult because it's such a like I knew that if I won the competition that people were going to come for me. Like I knew it, and I was just waiting, and it happened, you know. And I found out recently that, you know, somebody the night of like called a whole bunch of people talking about how I didn't deserve it and all kinds of bullshit.
I sort of heard about
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
I was not impressed.
Yeah.
And I will not say who it was, but I will say that I was not surprised at all when I
Yeah.
found out that that person was talking shit, because
Exactly.
I've had nothing but weird experiences with that person.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But so how do you persevere and try to just block that out, you know?
It's difficult. I don't know if I can completely block it out, but what I have to do is like tell myself that I won fair and square.
Yes.
You know, nobody handed anything to me. I worked my ass off
Yes. Fuck
for
yes.
like the last year and a half, and the hard work paid off.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say that I haven't said this to any of the haters because it's not worth my time, because I'm sure they know this already, that it's like I haven't done anything that they're not capable of doing.
Yeah.
You know, I there was no, I didn't have a fairy godmother that came, you know,
It's not like
and
you're sleeping with the judge or something.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, it's like I went through the same rigmarole and, you know, process as everyone else. I worked my ass off. You know, I worked my ass off for, you know, since the beginning, just because I started so late that I felt like I got to make up time, and I don't want to waste I don't want to waste a minute of any of this.
Yeah, because believe it or not, Simone is not 38 or whatever age you're guessing. You're wrong. Well, it's true. Black don't crack.
Black don't crack.
We talked about this before, but I'm still always blown away by how old you are.
But yeah, so I have to tell myself that, you know, that I deserved it.
Yeah.
That I worked for it. And that, you know, people behaving that way, they're jealous.
It's totally
They're
jealousy.
jealous.
It's 100%.
It's
envy.
100%
Yeah.
jealousy. It's also the fact that, you know, in the history of the competition, I think I'm the second woman
Yep.
to win out of 10 years and like thousands of comics. I'm the second woman, the first woman of color.
Wow. That's so cool.
I don't think I'm the first person of color, but I think I'm the first woman definitely the first woman of color.
Yeah.
And that on its own, like I already felt like people thought that I sort of, some people have described like I came out of nowhere sort of thing.
And in your mind, you're like, no.
I've been
plugging
here the
away
whole time.
constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I knew that if I did well in the competition, that there was going to be some backlash from like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be done, and you know, a straight white man should have won, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like
Talking shit is so unproductive too. Like
it's a waste of time.
I just had an episode with Alex Wood last week, and in his book, one of the things he quit was gossiping, and we were talking about, or he mentioned that he had this realization of like, why am I going to spend 20 minutes talking shit that I could have spent that 20 minutes working on myself?
Exactly.
You know,
That's
or
what we
my
always talk
comedy
about.
or
Yeah.
whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's what we always talk about, that like whatever energy that someone's putting into, you know, writing me a hate message on my website or
You're planting a tree or something.
yeah, exactly. Like all the effort going into that, trying to discredit me, trying to embarrass me and things like that. It's like, why don't you take all that energy and put it on yourself?
And we
Focus on yourself, sort of thing.
I don't know why, but you seem to be a magnet for people messing with
Yeah.
you. We've talked about that. And
Because they think she's an easy target.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they think I'm not gonna, because the person who did the thing was flabbergasted that I went after him.
Yeah.
I confronted him.
you put them on blast.
Yeah, I didn't put him on
no, not
blast, but
completely.
no, I didn't put him.
I.
I didn't put him on blast. Like, yeah, people made it public, which I
You could've
didn't want.
You could have made it a
I'm
lot more
sorry.
public
Yes,
if you
that
wanted
was
to,
my
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
my
like
bad.
I felt I'd handled it personally because I was like, I went to him,
Yeah.
and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I don't backpedaling and
You just
denying.
revealed the gender
Yeah.
of the person in question. No, him or her.
they.
Or they.
But like I went after the person as far as I was concerned. I dealt with it.
Yeah.
You know, like
But you got so many people who want to back you up because
Yeah.
you've been nice to everybody along the way. You know?
But I just didn't want it to go public, and like
Yeah.
somebody made the public post, and I wasn't happy about that, and I told that person, like, I wish you hadn't done that. She did something, and I was like, I wish you hadn't done that either.
Yeah, I felt
because I think it
bad.
just made everything worse.
Yeah.
It did.
It made everything worse, and it was like, you know, like I'm glad everybody knows who it was, you know, but I didn't. That was not my intention. Like
was a
I was
dick
like,
move.
it was a dick move. It was a complete dick move, and it's like I didn't deserve it. And I think they just thought that they can say something and that I'm not going to say anything about it.
Well, we were talking about another person that I won't mention upstairs, and I just think it's so lame when you don't win in a competition and then you start talking shit about the person that won. It's just such bad form. It's
It
just being a
is.
sore loser. It's
I
like,
can
Sure.
wrap it up in a second. We're all freaking covert narcissists. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like they think anything that happens that's good that happens to someone else is a reflection of them, and then
I
they
try
have
to
to
go to-
shit on it. And
I try to go to competitions assuming I won't make it through. And then if I do, I'm happily surprised, you know? But
And the thing is, it's like it's normal. It's normal if you wanted something and you didn't get it to feel bad. That's
Yeah.
a normal thing. Because I know that if I hadn't won, I would have been like, I wanted to win and everything. But I'm not about to start trash talking
Yeah.
the person who won.
where does that get you?
Yeah. Like last year, I had wanted to get to the finals. And when I didn't, I was crushed. I was disappointed. But I told myself, I said, I vow that next year I'm going to make it to the finals.
Nice.
And I worked.
Yeah.
I worked.
You envisioned it and you made it happen.
I was
yeah.
like, I want to make it to the finals, you know?
It must be frustrating though for you guys, and other people fall into this category, but being like, you could literally write the best comedy of all time, and people would still be like, "Oh well, it's because she's indigenous, or because
Oh, yeah.
she's
We
a
talk about
woman,
that
or
all the
like
time,
you
yeah.
got that angle." Like,
Yeah.
I actually have a flex about that. So
okay,
can I flex a little bit? When you go for JFL, because you're going to go be on TV and stuff, they need word for word your transcript of what you're going to say.
oh, I know this flex.
So
And,
yes,
yeah,
so
it's
they
bad.
called me and they're like, okay, this is the hardest part. It's a back and forth with this company that is going to be going through your thing to see if it's TV safe and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
that's the hardest part because you have to rewrite and you have to do that and that. So she just prepared me for that. So I wrote my transcript. I worked a whole morning on it, and I'm like, okay, boom, 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 spelling, grammar, all right. So I sent it in. The next day, I get a call from the person that was looking through it, and she's like, no notes. I had to make this call because this hasn't happened in like 3 years,
Wow.
where we don't have one single note for you.
Oh my
You're
God.
good to go.
Yeah.
And she also said that.
Did your brain just melt? at that moment?
I'm actually getting flustered
Yeah,
right
she
now just
called me
thinking
and she was
about
like,
it.
ah!
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, she said
You should be super proud, man.
when she reads comedians' material, sometimes it's drab, then the punchline, you know what? And she's like, when I looked at yours, it was sparkling. It was something they'd never seen before. And I'm like, well, this is new wave of stand-up, baby, right here.
Sparkling. That's very like Disney-esque
Yeah.
way of describing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a flex for me because I always thought I was a bad writer.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not the most articulate person on the spot. However, I feel like the audience helps me write my jokes, and that's why it's
Well, it's like
where
getting
it
an
is right
A
now.
plus on a test or something. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's an
couldn't have done
achievement.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now you
It's
still
huge.
have to do the actual performing of
Yeah.
the stuff, but I'm sure you got that planned out.
They're
in
like, be
practice.
high energy. Don't worry. I got this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I would never be able to do what you're doing right now. If I hadn't taped it, I would never. I would assume I'm jinxing it if I like talked it up or whatever. I'd be knocking on wood like. Shit.
But I know, like from what you had asked us before, I find because both of us have experienced it that it's, and I think women in general, especially women, like at least women in comedy, that any achievement is almost immediately downplayed.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's intentional. Most times it's not, because it would be like, oh, how did you get that sort of thing? Or, oh, you only got that because you're a woman or you're a woman of color.
And
sort of
that's
thing.
what's in right now.
Yeah, that's trendy and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like we were just talking about this last night that we're like, okay, fine. Let's say that whatever production picked us just because we're women or just because we're women of color. Very quickly they'll see that we have talent.
Yeah, like you
You
can't
know?
get by just on that.
Exactly.
You're still going to
Exactly.
suck on stage
Exactly.
if
If
you're
you
not funny.
suck, you suck. Like it doesn't
I
matter.
guess they could argue maybe you got the gig or the opportunity, but you still have to follow through,
still have to-
even if that
exactly.
was true. So yeah.
Exactly. And I find that I've gotten that a lot of like minimizing. Like there was one portion of the competition and someone who didn't go through or didn't go through as high as they wanted or something, they were like, these things don't matter. You know, other than the $1,000, this is nothing.
Super easy to say that. When
Yeah, it's easy to say that when you didn't win, when you didn't get through, and it's just stuff like that. And I think if I responded or reacted to every single one, I'd be like just fighting all day.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any free time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any free time. I'd just be focusing on.
And that's what those people want
Yeah.
too. They want to.
yeah.
It's like any bully. They want attention. They want to
Yeah.
know that they're wasting your time.
It's called baiting,
Yeah.
and I fall for it nine times out of 10.
I don't. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
don't fall for that because it's like that's just been part of my existence. You know?
Well, and you got the same kind of shit for running a room and like
Yeah.
people giving you crap all the time, which is a good segue because comedy at Eddie's, so many people's starting place over the last couple of years is wrapping up.
Yeah,
This is last 3 shows in December, right?
Yes, I didn't think I would talk about this on the podcast.
We
but
don't have to if
No,
you
no,
don't
no.
want
I
to.
will. I will. Hey, part of me is my transparency. So, Comedy Eddie's. I started and our first show was April 2019, and I started comedy January 2019. So it was 3 months after I started. Just like Liam, just like Radu, like they're. Sorry, Danny. I just said Liam's first name and last name.
You put them together.
So I made it because, you run a room, that you get to see more comedians. And the more comedians you see, the better you get. And I also loved the camaraderie of being around comedians.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were eccentric. They were like me. Like we're all messed up in the head. So like, all right, let's do this. And then, I would get flack that, you just have a room because you're not getting stage time, which is weird because on the other hand, they'd say, you're only getting stage time because you're indigenous, so you're getting all the stage time.
Yeah, it's like make up your mind.
Yeah,
Which is
really.
it?
Yeah,
Am I
both.
getting it?
Yeah, what? You guys are like, I'm spitting, you're making me dizzy.
And in my experiences, it's not like you were putting on these shows at Eddie's and then feature act Janelle Niles.
No,
Like,
not at all.
So you would host.
I barely put myself on some of those
Yeah.
shows, and I started recently because I have to practice for this big show coming up.
Well,
But,
and you're not like only 4 months into comedy now or whatever,
Yeah,
like you were when
exactly.
you started the room.
yeah, but to be honest, 2 months ago, actually, I was thinking of quitting Eddie's because it was taking up all my Wednesdays, and there's a certain club in town that I wanted to try to get on Wednesdays, and that was also kind of blocking that. And so I'm like, okay, I want to try to get more in the clubs because I'm not in the clubs. So I want to get in the clubs, and I'm like, okay, Eddie's is kind of, and then I also need that extra time because I'm booking real shows.
Yeah.
Like with Gotland, the full
Hanging
indigenous
shows.
comedy shows,
Yeah.
big shows, and stringing you along. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I need more time because I love comedians to death, but they're divas, and I don't need to be.
Could be exhausting for sure, yeah.
Like out of the 20 I book a month or 30 I book a month, I have 4 chirping me all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like I just kind of like put that producer aside for that, and then my twin sister also was going back to school. And she wants to be a PSW, so she's also quitting Eddie's. And we're like, all right, let's do it together.
the magic is gone.
Exactly.
But you never thought about handing the torch to somebody else? Or?
No, because I want to take my equipment with me.
Oh.
If I like, what I'm going to do? Ask a comic, hey, you got $300? Buy my equipment off me. You can have Eddie's. Nah.
They might. I mean, there's probably someone that would, but
Yeah, but then they would have to talk to the owner and all that stuff, and probably have a bad taste in their mouth. And I just want to kind of like.
it's
rip
kind
it
of
off
cool
like
that
a
way though,
Band-Aid.
because then you leave this little legacy behind, and
Yeah.
it's
The
like
clean
anyone that was alive during this period doing comedy in Ottawa 20 years from now, we're all going to be like, oh yeah, I remember Eddie's, you know. And so many people, because of Eric's photography, so many people use that as like their headshots or whatever.
Zach Seville actually did that today. He put his Eddie's.
Well, I know, speaking of which, the show that we're doing in December, you were like, okay, guys, send your headshots. And I'm pretty sure Rory and Lewis both sent pictures from Eddie's.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we should bring that up. The same crew from the Don't Fret show, which is the poster behind me. We're doing Stringing You Along Volume 3.
Yes.
It's been a couple of years since the other ones, but so that's going to be at Mavericks on December 16th. Musical comedy.
I got my ticket. I'll be there. I got my ticket.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Tim Minchin and Bo Burnham and Weird Al and all those beautiful guys, you need to come down to Stringing You Along at Mavericks, Ottawa. And it has such good acoustics in Mavericks. I used to rave there, go to rock shows and everything. And with the style of comedy that we're doing, it is the perfect location.
It really is.
It's very accessible.
I've got a lot of good memories there too. Like I saw the Planet Smashers there back in the day, but when I hosted for Ed the Sock, it was there. Yeah. And I always love to be able to perform somewhere where I already know like the layout of the room and just the vibe. So, but yeah, and it's going to be like potentially like 100 people or something in the audience,
hope
right?
so. I hope so.
Oh, we'll sell it out. Come on. We got Rory Gardner.
Rory Gardner.
Lewis Hill. I'm a little nervous about it not nervous, excited too, because I'm going to be doing some of the same songs I've done before, but in a new capacity because I'm bringing a bass player with me and a guy playing hand drums. And just from the first time we jammed, it had a really great sound to it. Like it's really weird hearing these songs I've been doing bare bones with a guitar for years. And now there's like a background vocals during the chorus and harmonies. And it's sounding really cool. Not to toot my horn. I don't want to say all this and then you come to the show. And
I don't know why self-promotion is shamed. I think
again, for me, it's a self-jinxing thing. I'm so like superstitious that I'm going to be like, yeah, we sound amazing. And then the night of, I'm going to like shit my pants on stage or something.
Like Lois and Peter, like they think they're doing the great thing.
They're super baked. We're still trying to solidify a name right now because I figured like I don't want to do a band name because it's still mainly my original songs and I'm sort of the front man. So we're going to do like an Oliver George and we're still
Oliver Twist. No, I just
oh my God, I've had that since I was a kid. Oliver Twist, Olivieri Pasta, I think was one of them, and I used to get the Olive Garden. That's probably most of them. Yeah. You know, my name means olive tree farmer. Or no, sorry, my middle name means farmer. Sorry, my first name means olive tree. So I just thought that was always weird that my name means olive tree farmer. Kind of a random fact there, but
no, it's all good.
So yeah, come to the show if you can, and I'm really excited for it. So thank you again for the opportunity and organizing that.
I do like doing those shows where, because the best producers or the best agents or the best managers are big fans of comedy. And when you're a big fan of comedy, you know how to pull off a show if you got the producer chops. And I'm a big fan of musical comedy.
Yeah, you've been like really impressive in that sense where you send a message, you're like, hey guys, thinking we could do another musical show. And then it's like an hour later, like, okay, so it's all booked. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I better start practicing.
It's just because I work fast and persistent. Like if
That's great, you're tenacious, yeah, for sure. Tenacious D. Your destiny. I can't not think of Tenacious D if I say that word.
I do not need a microphone.
Okay, wait. Normally I throw to my dad about mid-episode or whatever after we've been going for a while with a question, which if you have one, Dad, by all means. But my mom's actually in studio, so if you don't want to ask a question.
She's like,
well, for either or both of them, if you have an idea, or think about it, and you can jump back in later with one if you want. Anyways, yeah, my mom's here. People can't see her, but normally my mom is not present, so it's both my folks are here. But it's great, man. It's so good to see you guys. And do you have a question, Dad, or no?
I do.
Oh, okay. My mom has one.
So, Simone, I've been following you on Facebook, and I love everything you do. But when you came so close to that car accident on the Parkway, my heart went out to you, and I was worried about you. And I just was curious, like, how you dealt with all that.
Oh, that
sort
was
of trauma you went through.
Near-death experience.
Yeah, that was terrifying. That was terrifying. And I was on my way to the gym to meet with my friend / trainer, and I left a little bit later than normal, like 1 or 2 minutes later, and I got onto Airport Parkway, and I don't know, 3 seconds in, 2 cars collided. One went flying through the air, and and like narrowly, like I was in the center of it, and I pulled over and I was shaking, and I remember I was stuck there for about an hour because the police wanted to talk to me. I called 911 and everything, and I am certain that my parents had a lot. I'm going to cry. I'm certain that my parents had a lot to do with that, because if I was like 3 seconds faster, if I was driving a little bit faster, if I'd left a little bit earlier, I would have been involved in it, you know?
Probably obliterated. By the sounds
Yeah,
of it.
like it looked, apparently it just looked worse than it actually was. Like nobody was killed.
Oh, okay, good.
No one was killed. No one was like seriously injured. But it looked like I was certain like people were dead, you know, that people were dead. And it was just, I'd never seen it happen in real time, like right before your eyes. And it's when people say things go in slow motion and you can't hear anything, it was exactly like that.
Wow.
You know, and it was terrifying. And I was traumatized for a little while after that. Like I was afraid to drive. And even now, because it's months later, I think this happened in August, July or August, that I have to use Airport Parkway to, you know, I'm almost practically on the shoulder. I don't want to be in the center, because I think what happened is like cars were too close and they clipped and everything went out. So I'm like practically on the shoulder driving, and I'm always conscious. I'm like, that's where the spot was. That's where the van landed on its roof. That's where I pulled over. This is where, you know, the front end of the other car was. Like
It all comes flashing
Yeah,
back,
it all comes
yeah.
flashing back. And it's not as severe as it was when it first happened. Because I don't think I slept for a couple of days. Like I remember I was crying, and I was just really, really traumatized. But I know that my parents had something to do with that. That they
Just watching over you.
Yeah, they protected me. They protected me. But
Thank God.
thank God, yeah. But I'm
Or
doing
thank
a
your
lot
parents.
better. Thank my parents. Yeah, but I'm doing a lot better. I still have flashbacks every now and then, though. I do, but I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing
such
a
a
lot
close
better.
call. Holy moly.
Yeah, it was too close.
And to any listeners or viewers that thought there was someone crying in the background during that, that's just my coyote dog upstairs, crazy puppy who is very vocal at times. So I apologize if that got picked up. Do you have anything, Dad, or no? Or are you going to want to wait and bring something in later?
I would just like to say to both ladies, for all your success.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. He pulled out the applause.
Thank you.
We haven't used the sound effect in a while. That was good. I got a couple more questions for you guys. One for Janelle, and this is not true today, but you have been known to be wearing some snazzy ass suits lately.
Yes.
When you perform, namely, and I want to know if there's like a deeper significance, or you just love suits, or
Oh, there is a very big sorry. There is a huge significance for me to wear a suit. So,
because these are like Prince level suits, some of them. For the
yes,
record.
they are.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes, they're
yeah.
from Moore's, but I wear them
velour.
like they're a $5,000 suit. That's I really respect the suit. I didn't get the laughs that I did not wearing a suit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a psychology thing. It's people respect me more, and they give permission to listen when I wear that suit.
It commands
Yeah,
a presence.
It does, and it commands respect, and it commands authority, and they actually want to listen to what I have to say. And it's horrible to say that I need to dress in this modern European standard of clothing, like a professional.
Yeah, I feel the same.
You got to spiff
feel
it
the
up to
same.
get people's attention.
Yeah, because I know if I went up, dressed like super casually, because a lot of people do comedy super casually. I know that probably people wouldn't listen or pay attention, or just sort of
Flake out,
write us off or something. That I'm like very conscious of how I look on the stage. Like I make sure my hair is fine. I've got my makeup and what I'm wearing and everything that I give a professional vibe, and
Gets people to know you mean business, kind of.
yeah, and to like take you seriously, because I know I do it to this day. Like when I was younger and let's say I had to go to the emergency room or something. Like let's say I had an accident and, you know, I need stitches or something. If I went in the clothes I was wearing and I was just like lounge around the house, I was treated differently. You know, like treated almost like a criminal sort of thing.
Second
like,
class citizen.
yeah,
kinda,
like treated
yeah.
badly. But if I was dressed professionally or dressed neatly or whatever, totally different level of service. And I still do it like subconsciously. Like I don't know if I told you this a lot when I was here last year, but when I was diagnosed with the pulmonary embolism, and my doctor was like, "You got to go to the hospital like now," sort of thing. I changed my clothes. I did my hair. I did everything.
Like, literally could be dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I could drop dead at any moment, but I made an effort.
And then
to
she
like,
hopped on the streetcar.
yeah, and then I got on the streetcar and I should have gotten in a taxi.
Just 45 minutes across town. No big deal.
That's okay. No biggie.
I remember that story.
But yeah, so it's like it's something that I'm very
Conscious,
aware that
yeah.
we're very conscious of that. You know, but you can't be too flashy.
Yeah.
You know, and like you can't.
Yeah, where it looks like you're schmoozing and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're,
I mean,
if
yours
you're
are
a
pretty
woman,
flashy. But
Well, I
you pull
saved
it off.
mine for the big stage. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, I don't look that flashy going to swizzles. Yeah.
True. Yeah, if you're just working out some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It would be cool though if your success keeps going and you get to be this huge comedian and then you develop
She
your
has a
own line of
cape.
suits.
Oh, honey, I am already that huge comedian. All right.
Well, I
I'm
just
also
meant-
her talent agent.
selling Janelle Niles suits would be
Oh,
like
yes.
pretty baller, right?
Oh,
if
for
you had
sure.
your own like I
line,
don't know.
exactly,
I
your
don't
own
know.
fashion line.
Something just dropped upstairs.
Inside the
Hopefully
house.
that's not my child.
I actually went to more when I got the JFL thing. I'm like, I can't wear my purple suit because it'll look like I only have one suit, which I only do have the one suit. I just wear it well. So I went to Moore's, and what I wanted was a pearl pink suit jacket, like a pearl pink, and I would
Pearl
wear my black dress pants, and I would do like light make, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like bam. But when I went there, like, we don't have light pink.
Yeah.
And so
We don't carry salmon.
no, we do not carry salmon. So what I got was a dark red suit jacket with like a floral pattern in it.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, that works. That works. And then I got some red shoes from Globetrotters, like where Chris works.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that will be because when you're on TV, they don't like patterns. They always say don't wear
Yeah,
patterns.
I've heard that even for background acting. and
I'm
shit,
going to
yeah.
see if the camera's far enough away that it doesn't mess with the you know, and
Yeah.
and it's going to be my backup just in case, because I really want to I want to look dapper up there. I want to look debonair, you know.
That was one thing I learned if I do like a audition, film something from home to send in or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's very limiting. They're like, okay, so don't wear black, don't wear white, don't wear red, don't wear any patterns. You're like, so shirtless then?
Blue long sleeve shirt
Oh man,
without the teal in it.
so many rules.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your podcast. Is sort of what's the status currently? And I also wanted to know if you had a dream guest that you would love to have on.
Right now, I'm on hiatus, sort of thing. I had tried a different format for season 3, which I hated, and
Remind me again what you switched out.
what I did was I did one live interview a week, and then I did pre-recorded ones on the weekends. And the thing is, I got busy, and so the pre-recorded ones fell by the wayside. And then I think I produced all of them, published all of them like on one day, like at the beginning
Yeah, I remember,
of
'cause
October.
You started putting up all these podcasts that were like from May or something. I'm like, all right.
Exactly.
You've been sitting on these for a while, yeah.
And part of like I had to because it had been months since I recorded them and had seen them. I had to like watch them again just to like for editing and to know what we talked about.
Re-immerse yourself a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all about, oh, I just got my first vaccine, and oh, you know, I was sick, or it was all like at the time when people were just starting to get the vaccines and stuff like that. So I debated whether I would post them or not, because I was like, they're kind of dated now.
Yeah.
But I
Oh, that's
also
relevant, yeah.
I ultimately decided to publish them because like people had taken the time to talk to me and
Yes.
stuff like that. So I said, I'll just put them out.
And even if like a couple people listen to it and it brightens their day or they learn about,
Yeah.
like there's probably moments people will still take from that. So,
Oh yeah,
in my
because it's
opinion-
been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
so that was season 3, and so I've decided that whenever I bring it back, because I want to, I'm going to limit it to maybe no more than 2 interviews a week, maybe 1 a week. I'm not sure, because at one point when I first started, I was doing every day,
Oh my God.
and then I did like every other day or 4 days a week. Like it was too much.
Keep it more casual.
Yeah. So I might. I'm thinking once a week.
So
live.
this is something I wanted to know though, because I find it interesting. It seems to be very popular these days where people will say season 3, but it hasn't actually been 3 years. Like Hot Ones is the most guilty in my opinion, because I think that show started in 2015 and they're on season 16 or something. I'm like, what? But everyone's doing it. I feel like I'm old school because I actually, like, we just started season 3 and this is the beginning of the 3rd year of doing this show,
Yeah.
Not to make fun of you for doing that by any means, but it seems to be what's in.
Because the thing is, it was just like when I started it, I didn't anticipate that I would be doing it like a year later sort of thing. And so I was like, okay, the first set of interviews that I did, I'll call that season 1, because I think it wasn't until January. So there was a good like 4 or 5 months from when I did the last interview of the first set to when I restarted like in early January. So I called that season 2, and the season 2 went by pretty quickly. And then
So it's like whenever you have a new block.
Yeah, whenever I have a new
episode.
block of, I've gone through all the people that I solicited interviews from, so that's a new season. But one thing that I'm going to continue, which I thought worked really well, was I had some spots reserved for, okay, I want to speak to that person or I want to speak to that person. But then because of the pandemic and then, like the just the community becoming more global, like I was in, so I'm in so many other groups that I posted, hey, I do a podcast. If you want to come on, sign up here, sort of thing. So I got to speak to other people, like in other markets, and
Nice.
yeah. So that I want to do that again, and that was cool.
My favorite guest, other than myself, was the guy that was on America's Got Talent.
Oh,
he just took,
John something, right?
He just took this and was like hitting his.
On my show?
Yeah, he was a guest on your thing, and he was from America's Got
I
Talent.
know what you're talking about. Isn't his name John Hastings? Or
Yeah,
something
and
like
he
that?
just like did that thing.
Simone's like, I never talked to this motherfucker.
No, I swear it was on your thing.
Really?
Yeah,
And he was on America's Got
Yeah,
Talent?
and then his bit was he had a thing, and he would just like make noises and hit his cheek.
That seems like something you would remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't
when
remember that at all. Are you sure it was my
You know what? I
podcast?
think we're having a Mandela effect.
Alternate
Yeah, I
reality.
think I'd remember that.
So you guys wanted to know her age is actually 74. She's having a senile.
Having a
A
moment.
senile? No. Okay, this next thing I want to do. We've actually talked about a lot of what I wanted to talk about, but this is a silly game that I came up with. I thought it would be a fun improv exercise. And I'll put the photos up digitally for the people that are watching the episode. But for now, Simone, I know you love cats.
Yes.
You're very much a cat person.
Yes, I'm a cat. I like dogs too, but
Yeah, you're not
I
a
have
dog
cats now.
hater.
No, I grew up with dogs.
It
But I
does
have-
go that way, though. Sometimes
Yeah.
there are cat people who fucking hate dogs
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah, no, I don't hate dogs. I love dogs.
I actually came up with a little one-liner joke the other day about like dogs, man's best friend, cats, man's standoffish roommate. So this game is called Name That Kitty.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to show you a picture of a kitty, and I want you to tell me what you would name him and why, and maybe give him a little bit of a backstory.
Okay,
Okay. What would you name this guy?
Charles.
Charles. Well, that was like you didn't even think about it. It just came out. Mom, if you want to see. Oh, yeah. You guys printed them out for me. My bad. You got a name for this guy or no?
I'd name him like cheese or cheddar,
Okay.
Cheeto.
So you're going with the orange on
With
that,
the
I guess.
orange,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. What
He's
about...
going to school with his little backpack.
This is almost a throwback to Halloween, this next guy.
Oh.
You're not a fan?
No, he's cute. I think he's beautiful.
That's a Luke.
Luke. Yours are all people names.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What would I name him?
I'm thinking like Spectre or something.
Yeah.
Something spooky. He's one of those that hairless
Yeah,
guys.
Sphinx, I think.
Sphinx cats, yeah. I think
What
that's
would
they're
I
called.
name him? Yeah, I'd name him like Charles or something. Yeah, because he has a very like wise face. He's very cute.
So wait, you took Charles, which was her first one. So we got 2 Charleses. Oh shit! Oh, wait, I'm spoiling the next one. All right. What about this sassy little fellow?
Oh my goodness.
Actually, his real name is Little Bub.
Oh, you know this
Yeah,
cat?
I know this cat. I know that
That's
cat.
how much of a cat person she is. She knows all the
I
cats.
know the internet cats.
Okay, so he's like a grumpy cat kind of guy. He's that level of famous, you think?
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Little Bub or something. Lil Bub, something like that.
Well, he's adorable.
He is adorable.
Well, you could still pick your own name for him. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe this is a dumb name.
I don't
a
have
dumb
a
game.
I don't see a name to him.
Yeah, I would name him something like Binky or something like that.
Oh, that's
you
kind
know?
of good. Yeah, some
Yeah.
kind of derpy
Yeah.
name for him. For
Derpy
sure.
name, yeah. Derp.
All right, this guy
I had a cat that looked just like, yeah.
with that shocked expression, he just
No,
walked
I
around.
never saw that shocking. No,
Actually, I'm just wondering what happened to cause this
I'm
photograph.
sure a treat is coming towards him, and he's like waiting for the treat.
There's that whole thing with cats that freak out if you put a cucumber by
Yeah, because they think it's a
They
snake.
think
It's so
a
weird.
snake.
I would call him Pickle.
Pickle. All right.
I don't know.
This game is going about as well as I thought it would. And then finally, I just wanted to show you guys this one.
Oh my God.
The shaved cats always kill me.
That's
Like,
sitting
who
there.
does that to an animal and doesn't feel like, PETA's going to be calling
That's
them after?
Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, he's definitely pleasuring himself in some way.
The porn cat. You know?
Porn pit, yeah. All right, well,
He's sitting on the casting couch.
that was a weird segment, but I'm going to keep it in. The casting couch, yeah, exactly. You want a piece of this? Yeah, scratching his balls. He just looks like lazy, really.
But when they shave them, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to make him look like a lion or something. It's
Because I know, like, one of my sister's cats had to be shaved because she had long hair, and she would get poop stuck in her fur.
Oh.
And so they had to shave her down, and it's because it looked like she's wearing fuzzy boots, and then they have to keep a piece of their tail on, like a piece of hair on the tail for like balance or something.
Oh, really?
And
That's so weird.
It's hilarious. It looks, every time I look at the picture, I could laugh for like 20 minutes nonstop because it's just so funny.
when you talk about long fur. My wiener dog who died almost a year ago, you just met him and then he died a
Yes,
couple of weeks after.
yes.
He has the long hair dash, and so in the winter when we take him on walks, he would come back with just like snowballs attached, and we'd have to just like put him on a towel for an hour,
Yeah.
and just melt it all off, get the hair dryer or something. But, okay, well, I'm gonna ask you guys the season 3 question, which I think is a fun one. Last time we got into semantics with Alex about. Anyways, if you were not doing what you do currently for a living, what would be your dream job? And this is what we kind of argued, because by dream job, I don't necessarily mean like astronaut or something like totally outside of the realm of what you would probably actually be able to accomplish. I mean, you guys, maybe you could be an astronaut. I don't know. I don't want to say follow your dreams, whatever, but maybe more like what did you want to be growing up? Anything along those lines. Like what kind of profession would you think would be really well suited for you?
I always wanted to be a comic from the time I was 15. And I did everything else but be a comic. So,
But now you are a comic, so that doesn't really count.
yeah.
You got to give me something.
I'm doing it now, but I don't know.
Something like maybe a little outside your wheelhouse, but that you feel like drawn to a bit, or
Probably, I would probably be a lawyer.
lawyer. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I think I would have. I'm still thinking about it, of going to law school.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's something that's always fascinated me.
Have you always been into like the legal dramas and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I like that. And
Law and Order.
I'm
Order's a
very
great
like procedural, and I like the rules, like stuff like that. So
You seem like someone who would be wanting to stand up for what's right and help
Yeah.
people, like a public defender or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably where
Do a
I
bunch of pro
gravitate.
bono work just
Yeah,
to help out
exactly.
like, impoverished people or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a super awesome and noble answer. I'd be the only honest lawyer. It's true. They don't have the best reputation. And Janelle?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a ballerina. I just thought they were so graceful and beautiful, and then my boobs came in. And
I guess they are pretty
yeah.
flat-chested, the majority of them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I just
Too much drag.
I drank too much milk. That's my. But when I got older, I didn't know. Like I grew up in a very tumultuous family, so like having dream, like we couldn't think of like the next day versus like we were very like stuck in. Yeah. So I did want to do massage therapy because I do like touching people. And then when COVID happened, I was in school for massage therapy. I did 2 out of 3 years with the advanced diploma at Algonquin College. But when I dropped out because COVID happened, and when COVID changed the world, it changed my mind. So I was like, I'm just going to focus on comedy right now. Because
I don't really want to go touch strangers during a pandemic. Yeah,
exactly. I always want to touch strangers with consent. It's all about consent first.
So I guess the dream would be being like the team masseuse for a ballerina school.
Yeah, we don't use masseuse here in Canada because we use massage therapist because masseuse is misconstrued as as an unlicensed massage therapist. However,
sketchy, yeah.
In Europe and America, the States, they still use that word masseuse.
Yeah, I've heard it still thrown around. When you were talking about boobs on ballerinas, I want to point out when I said too much drag, I don't mean like cross-dressing. I mean in the way that like swimmers
I know, yeah.
shave their hair. Okay.
Aerodynamics.
Yeah, okay,
I got you.
Shit, man. Okay. Oh, man, this has been so fun. I honestly went through my notes. I don't know. Unless you guys have anything you want to plug or talk about, I'm down. But otherwise, we're pretty much at that point.
I don't think I would be where I am without Simone Holder. She is my rock and a love of my life.
I'm so glad you guys came on together.
Yeah,
I knew this would be fun.
This woman, she's almost my replacement mom, if you will, because it's just someone who's so compassionate and loving. She's an angel, and I will.
See, for me, she's more of like a cool aunt.
Oh yeah.
But we were in a relationship.
Oh, that's Jen
fun.
Hayward. That's Jen Hayward for me.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Jen's great.
She's my comedy auntie mommy.
Nice.
But
Jen's always been really nice.
Yeah,
to me,
I love this woman to death, and I will fight for her. And
She has.
yeah, yeah. If
This is where you say ditto.
Ditto.
What she said.
Oh no, honey, I fought for myself. I'm good.
Oh man.
I'm way too outspoken, but I just wanted to say that's she's means the world to me, and
Dad, we need a sound effect for one of those sitcom moments, you know, when they hug or whatever.
It's my baby.
I didn't need a fairy to appear. Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh, this was a blast. Yeah, you guys had both reached out to me saying like, "Hey, I'd love to come back on the show," and I'm so glad we decided to do it together. This was awesome. Now we can do 3-way high five. Yeah. And yeah, maybe I'm going to see a show tonight, I think. So maybe you guys tag along.
We have to go grab tickets.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.